Kerry's Mikey Sheehy announced his decision to retire from the game after some 15 years gracing the playing fields of Ireland. Sheehy was arguably the greatest footballer ever in Gaelic football. He was certainly one of them. And just looking at his list of achievement down through the years is enough to knock the sight out of your eyes. Top of the list are those 8 All-Ireland medals that he picked up down through the years, but there was also a healthy collection of League, Railway Cup and County medals, not to mention those 6 All-Star awards as well. But it will be for his brilliant scores and his deft touches that perhaps Mikey Sheehy will be remembered most. So let us now recall some of his finest moments. We first saw his talents in the All-Ireland final of 1975. Dublin were the opposition and it was the beginning of an era.
There's a dangerous one. Nicely chipped up there by Mikey Sheehy and over the bar. Oh, a Mikey Sheehy chip up, reminiscent of the late Paddy.
He scored 3 goals against Derry in the 76 semi-final, including this one.
In now to Mikey Sheehy, and it's another goal for Sheehy.
In the final, Kerry lost to the Dubs this time, despite some neat scores from the Austin Stacks forward.
Kevin Moran can't hold on to him, and I mean hold on. John Egan, Gail Driscoll after him. Feeding it inside to Mikey Sheehy, and Mikey passes it over the bar.
He was in devastating form in the 78 Munster final and master of the hand pass.
Kerry coming back very quickly. Owen Liston back into Jerv Tower. It was a nice return pass, and that's Tom Doyle, and this is Mike Sheehy, and that's the goal. Oh, that was a beautiful one.
It certainly was, but not as good as the next. Sheehy's most famous goal scored against Dublin and Paddy Cullen in the All-Ireland final of that year.
And Paddy Cullen. Oh dear, oh dear. Paddy Cullen judged. Oh, a goal in the greatest streak of all time.
We were fortunate enough to get the free, and Paddy seemed to be arguing with the referee, and I just didn't want to look up, and the line was unguarded, so I had to go, and I was just looking up for Winton, you know.
And you didn't feel like arguing with anybody?
No, I did not, no,
yeah.
no.
Sheehy's 2 goals and 6 points in the 79 final equal the all-time scoring record for a final.
Up they go for that.
In 1980, Kerry made it 3 in a row. This time it was Roscommon who were the opposition, and they felt the sting of Mikey Sheehy in the attack.
And to his right. And to his left is Mikey Sheehy. And there it is, the goal.
In 81, Kerry were back again. It was 4 in a row this time, and Offaly were punished for not keeping a closer eye on the Austin Stacks man.
Jack O'Shea. Got by John Egan. Deflected from just in front of the goal, over the bar for a point.
It wasn't all great memories. In the 82 final, Seamus Darby's late goal beat Kerry, not before Mikey missed a golden opportunity to wrap it up.
Mikey Sheehy to take the kick. Martin Furlong in the goal. He saved it! He saved it! And he gets it out to Pat Fitzgerald. Oh, Martin, what a save!
In the 86 final, Tyrone didn't find Sheehy quite as generous.
At the moment, or at least for a moment there, it seemed that Tyrone were once again ready to take the initiative, but it's come to Kerry's Mikey Spillane. Mike Sheehy gets a brilliant goal.
One of his very best was in last year's Munster final, a desperate attempt to save Kerry's bacon.
Are we seconds away from history? It's not over yet. McAuliffe missed an earlier chance. Blocked down. Once again, trying to round Tony Davis, well into injury time in the Munster final. Back to Mikey Sheehy, Mikey the captain, looking for the Kerry goal that will seal it. Is it there? Yes it is, I don't believe it. Oh, absolutely unbelievable.
The great Mikey Sheehy captured in action down through the years. Well now, instead of talking about Mikey Sheehy, let's actually talk to him, because Mikey is in our Limerick studio right now. Mikey, thank you very much for joining us on the programme this afternoon. I'm sure there'll be great disappointment down in Kerry over your decision. You were injured in a club game, Mikey, and the question is, who did it? Was it a Cork man?
A Cork man. No, yeah, it was a club game against Spa, County League game on Easter Sunday, Michael, and it was just an unfortunate thing the way it happened. I suppose that my old legs are slowing up a bit. I kind of threw my leg at a ball that I shouldn't have, and I was in collision with another player, and he just kind of landed awkwardly on my knee, and the minute he made contact, I know I was in serious trouble, so I had to hobble off, and unfortunately that's the way it happened.
Yes, and the real unfortunate thing about it was, I suppose, this was your good knee this time.
It was good knee. The bones are getting very brittle, but yeah, and I mean, it was very easy for my decision to be made then, because the other leg hadn't been very sound, and this was too serious even to contemplate trying anything at all, you know.
Yeah. You have suffered the same kind of an injury as Pat Spillane has.
Right. Yeah, it's something very similar to Pat. I suppose when Pat's happened, I think in 81, 82, and I suppose he had time on his side, but really, I from the medical advice I have got, really, there was no hope. If I contemplated even having an operation, it would take a year minimum, maybe even a year and a half or longer, and really there was no way, you know.
Will you be sad to give up the game, even though you've had some great times out of it?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, when I finally made the decision, her decision was nearly made for me. It was still very hard to take, even though I must say, like, I've had a great innings, and I was lucky to be part of a great team, and made some great friends, and saw the world, and, you know, I was lucky enough. But when the crunch does come, you know, it has been so, I suppose, part of my life for so long. It's a sad decision to have to make, but I said, you know, it had to be done.
We've looked a little earlier in the programme at some of your greatest goals and scores. What are your own best memories from those great days, Mikey?
Well, I suppose, you know, obviously the All-Ireland finals and actually playing in them, and I suppose scoring goals or scoring points. You know, a lot of people kind of say to you, have you anyone that stands out? None, really. You know, once you score a goal in any game, but particularly in the final, it's a fantastic thrill, and, you know, you relish every one of them.
A lot of people, of course, will remember that goal against Paddy Cullen in '78.
Oh, Paddy, yeah. Well, I was up in Dublin actually recently, so we had a little bit of a get-together, myself and Paddy, but the goal wasn't discussed, mind you.
Well, now, Mikey, you are the first of that great team of the Spillanes, of Jack O'Shea, Liston, Nelligan, to actually officially retire. Is this the beginning of the end?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. You know, like I mean, all the rest of the lads are in there, and they're actually in hard training at the moment, you know. And obviously a few lads, I suppose, after the end of the year, depending on what happens during the year, would obviously be contemplating it. But as I say, I'm only speaking on my own behalf. I don't want to be getting stick when I go back down and retiring a few more of them. But at least I'd say the rest of the lads will all be there for the rest of the year, and I'd say they'll be fighting hard as well, you know.
Yeah. What about the new talent coming up in Kerry?
I think, you know, that I think Mick O'Dwyer has a few tricks up his sleeve this year. There's a few very promising newcomers, particularly I think in the forward line. There's a young guy from Carsavine, another St Mary's man. They can always produce him down there. A young guy called Maurice Fitzgerald, and I think he's as good a prospect as I've ever seen anyway. And I think he's going to be a big plus, even though he's only just gone 18. And there's a young Ger Murphy, another very good corner forward. And there's a few good backs, Eamon Walsh and Mike Brosnan, and, you know, you could go on. There's plenty of talent, I'll tell you, below in the kingdom.
Well, Mikey, your decision to retire, of course, means that they will be seeing an awful lot more of you in the Sheehy household during the summer, at least.
What they will, yeah. Well, I suppose my wife will have me out gardening, or she'll try to anyway. But I'd say I'll be missing. But it was funny during the week. My small lad, well, he's 6 now. He said to me that when he heard all the hullabaloo about packing it in, so he said he was glad he heard I was packing it in, because I'd be around to play with him a bit more, you know. So I suppose he was telling me to cop myself on.
Are you going to quit the game entirely now?
Well, I'll tell you, Michael, like as I said to you earlier on, the other option would be to have an operation. That was completely out, and the only other thing would be to do kind of a course in weight training. But I have been told really that it may or may not stand up. I was told more than likely not, but what I will do is I probably will be mad enough to have a go at playing a club game or two later on in the year, you know.
But if you do, and come the summer, Kerry are involved in the Munster Championship, would you be tempted back, even as a sub on the Kerry team against Cork?
Not a hope, no. My decision is made now, and there's no going back. I'll be at the Munster final, all right, but I'll be sitting inside in the stand with a lot more people.
Well, Mikey, on behalf of all of those people who had the pleasure of seeing you play football down through the years, we're sad to see you go from the game, but we wish you a very happy retirement.
Thanks, Michael.
Well, now I just want to mention one other important match on this weekend. It's the Dr. Harty